Axel Persson of the CGAT Railway Workers Union joins me now. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining me tonight from Paris. Look, France is in a really bad economic state, and the debt is high, and the agencies are downgrading the debt of the country. So is this the time for your members to be asking for more?
Well, we are asking for more because, contrary to what may think, actually the major corporations in France, including the corporation for which I work for, which is the railway, have been actually boasting about record profits they've been gathering. They've been boasting about them for the past years. And what we've observed for the past year is that the corporate income tax have been lowered drastically for the past decades, and also the social contributions the employers are required to make to the social security system have been lowered drastically, which has led not to a situation where there is less money, but that the corporations, the banks, the insurances, basically those who basically owns the means of productions, have been asked to contribute less and less to the collective well-being, despite the fact that this wealth is being created by our labor. So this is a situation where we are in right now, which has led us to take to strike action, withdraw our labor, and say that enough is enough. And now we're drawing a line in the sand and saying, well, we won't take a step back and we will reclaim everything they've taken from us the past years. That's the attitude which we are which we've been leading the strikes with.
So as President Macron loses government after government and prime minister after prime minister, what do you think he should do? Do you think you just battle on, or do you think it's time either for him to go or call elections?
Well, the first and most important aspect is that the policies he is implementing on behalf of the wealthiest in the society need to go. If this needs to be embodied by him resigning, so be it. But it's the policies that he's implementing that needs to go. That is why people are still taking to the streets, despite the fact that government after government is being forced to resign through the social and political pressure that is being applied on them. But the fact is that Macron, for now at least, refuses to submit and admit defeat and change radically the policies he's been implemented. So the logical conclusion to that, it's he either has to go or the policies he's implementing has to go. So it's really up to him to choose through which way he has to satisfy this demand. That's up to him to decide.
You know, I'm of an age where I remember in the 1970s and 80s, they used to talk about the British disease. You might recall when, you know, the British were always on strike or whatever. Is there rapidly turning into a French version of that? French workers either protesting the jackets, or they're protesting over this, that, or the other. There seems to be a never-ending. I realise you're not here to sort of defend trade unionism in France. I understand that, but there does seem to be an industrial unrest in France that we're not seeing elsewhere.
Well, we actually do see it elsewhere. Of course, the form it's taking may be a bit different depending on the countries. But if you look all across Europe, be it, for example, in Spain, be it in the United Kingdom, there's been massive demonstrations these past years over pretty much similar issues. But it is true, though, that the French labor movement has a long history of militancy and is also much what explains to the fact that French workers may benefit from some rights that other workers either had before or haven't yet managed to conquer. Because at the end of the day, we only manage to get what we take through our collective action, and that is what trade unionism is about, collective strength that we wield through industrial action. That is what trade unions are about.
And I'm very grateful, Axel, that you come in and help us understand it all tonight. Next time we speak to you, hopefully I'll be in Paris and we can talk face to face. Thank you, sir, for joining us on Crest Means Business.